In this lesson, I'm going to take a closer look at 3 interesting places in this blues, especially when it comes to the bass notes and the bass lines. And the first such place is bar 7, including the first beat of bar 8. And that sounds like this. So instead of using the roots G for the G chord, 2 beats, and then a C on the C chord, and a D on the D chord, that would sound like this, by the way. It's not bad, but the other way is more interesting. So what I do is, on the first beat of the bar, on the G7, I use the root. I start there. On the second beat, I use an F, which is a chord tone. It's the 7th of the G7. And then we have the C7 chord on beat 3. There I use an E, which is the 3rd of the chord. And on the D7, I use the 3rd again, which is an F sharp, and then I go back to the root on the first beat of bar 8. And as usual, I mute the bass notes with my palm on my right hand to make them a bit more bassy and to separate them from the melody. The next interesting place is bars 13 and 14. It's all an F7 throughout both bars, and the melody is very simple. It sounds like this. So if I was to use the bass playing only root notes, it would sound like this. That is pretty boring, so instead I play it like this. That is the old classic boogie, piano boogie bass line, and it uses the root, an F, and the 3rd, which is a chord tone, of course, and C, which is the 5th of the chord. And then we have a D, which is not a chord tone, it's a passing note on the way to the E flat, which is the 7th of the chord. And and then the same way back. Finally, I'm going to show you how to play this part. And that is bars 15 and 16. It's all C7. So if I was to play it using just the root, the C, for bass, it would sound like this. Pretty boring, so I use a walking bass line that goes like this. It's the same thing 2 times, and it's the root, the C, it's the third, E, it's a passing note, F, and it's the fifth, the G. And because I only have 5 fingers on this hand, I have to use my thumb for one of the bass notes. There. You could do it using your other 4 fingers, but it would be trickier. And I think this is the better way. Finally, in those bars, there is one note that has a little dot above it, and that means you should play it short. And that's the G here. That. If you play it long, that's not the same. So at the same time as I put my thumb down to play the G on beat 4 of the first bar, bar 15, I also mute the G with my long finger in this case, to make it short. As usual, if you want the complete transcription of this tune with standard notation, tablature and all the fingerings, you can get it from my store. Thanks for watching. See you next time.